All right, guys. I'm back with a really exciting care package. A heavy box of candy from South Korea. You can see it for yourself. Got the flag there. Also have a trading card we'll open at the end. This is something special to me. So I have a friend who I've mentioned before on here. I don't mention him one by name per se. His first name's Travis. I hope that's okay. He's saying that at least, but you know, I've taken away the address, of course. But anyway, he has the awesome opportunity for his work to go around the world, really. And recently, when he's gone to like Japan, he brought back all this and sent it to me. What a freaking gift. And I opened this here on IG. You might remember that video. Also, he went to Germany and picked up all that. And he also went to Australia and picked up all that. And this is going to be from South Korea. And let's go ahead and get in there and see what came in the mail today. Now, as a candy collector, this is really exciting because you don't see a ton of vintage Korean candy. The places I do see vintage Korean candy, like 80s, 90s, is usually with bubble gum. So I have some theories on this, and this theory also extends to other third world countries and just other countries in general. First of all, you got to understand they have candy too. Wow, look at that, guys. Wow. You know, they have candy too, right? And they've had candy just like America and just like Europe. I don't know where you guys are watching from. But, you know, these countries like South Korea, let's just focus on this. They've had candy this whole time. I'm not sure the candy situation during Vietnam. But, you know, they've had candy items. Why don't we see that? Well, you see a little bit of it with bubble gum and chewing gum items, and you usually see that with wrappers. So my theory is storage. You know, in America, everyone talks about when they move to America how much storage we have, how much bigger our houses are. Not necessarily that we're super rich, which some people are, but it's just we make things bigger here and we have more storage room. So my theory, I'll shut up in just a minute and we'll look at this. My theory has been all this time is that the reason we don't see a lot of vintage foreign stuff, I'm talking 80s South Korea candy, 80s Japanese, now you do see Hello Kitty stuff, is because of the storage situation in some of these countries. Their houses just don't have huge attics like we do. I have an attic, I have basements, I have crawl spaces, right? And I have big closets. And so I can store more collectibles. I don't know about you guys, but I just have the sense that in some of these other countries, especially back in the 80s and 90s, they just didn't have places to store a bunch of this shit. Anyway, this is amazing. Now, I got really, really, really emotional when I opened the last one he sent. It was the Japanese one. Because, I mean, it was so badass. He even sent these, remember, muscle toys? Did you know they made a muscle gummy? I'm still not over this one. I still haven't processed it, per se. But I got really carried away when I opened this. I just couldn't believe it. You got to understand, I haven't seen these candies before. Not all of them, at least. So it's pretty overwhelming to open something like this. Already I'm feeling that feeling, and that's why I'm trying to, like, curb it a little bit. So let me calm down here just a second. Got my coffee. Let me take a little sip. Okay, I've got to say, oh, God. Yeah, I'm starting to get weird feeling. So I collect push pops. This is one I don't have. Sorry, I'm trying to calm down. Okay. Okay, guys, what you're looking at is a 2024 Korean push pop. These are made by Bazooka, which is its own brand. I don't know if you know that. These were back in the day made by Bazooka, but they branched off and I mean, they were made by Tops, but they branched off into what's called Bazooka Brands, and it's a separate company. I mean, they're connected, obviously, but this is amazing. I'm seeing Korean writing here. Had he just sent this, sorry, I'm getting a little weird. Had he just sent this, it would have been just the best day already, like it is now. This is just insane. I did not know this even existed. For some reason, it says ×2. Okay. Next up is a mini bubble tape roll. These started in 1987 with the Emerald Company. They produced their first one. Not sure how old the patent goes, but the first release of bubble tape was in 1987. And they've been making them ever since. Now, this size is so damn cute. As you can see, it fits in, you know, I mean, it's like, I can measure it real quick, actually. You know, it's 2 inches. And it's a great color. It's not exactly pink. It's like salmon or something like that. It's so awesome. Look at that. It's a little generic. Well, I don't know if Mega Bubble is a brand up there. I mean, I assume it is, but it does come off as being a little generic, but it's so cute. The size is pretty amazing, actually. Now, the Emerald Company did put out keychains that were in this size clamshell. These are clamshells. Back in the 90s, they did a little mini keychain novelty bubblegum. But they had a damn keychain sticking out of it. So this is cute that it's separate here. But that's a Korean bubble tape. Look at that. Let's see what this is. Trying to keep it together. This is pretty overstimulating and pretty fucking awesome. You're looking at what I believe. Obviously, I can't read any of this. You can go on Google Translate. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you take a picture of this right now, and you go to Google Translate, it will translate it on your camera. It's pretty cool. Anyway, these are different drinks, I would imagine. And so basically the jelly beans are these drinks as a jelly bean. I wonder if there's boba tea on here, because I know Korea's pretty much known for boba tea. As you can see, this size. Now, this is a normal size push pop, which is pretty nice. That'll be our standard here. If you're just joining me, I'm opening up a care package from a friend of mine who went to South Korea. It's the same guy who generously, just so fucking generous, brought all this back from Japan. Some of the most amazing novelties I've ever seen. Also, another year he went to Australia, and he went to Germany and brought all this back. And this is the South Korean one from today. It's freaking insane already. Now, these are obviously the same, so let me pull these out. This is incredible. This is a tooth. I have a bunch of tooth novelty candies. This is just adding to it. Now, I assume this is a tooth. I don't see any references to teeth or anything, but I would assume that's a tooth, right? Notice he sent 2. That's just a nice thing to do. I don't know what it is. It's just, I'm always thinking like in 2s and 3s as a collector. Like, I want to keep one. I want to open one. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's so cool. Yeah, these are novelties you can buy in Korea right now. Now, I don't think North Korea has a lot of novelty culture, you know, or any candy culture per se. I've never personally seen any North Korean candy items that I remember. Anyway, this is the Tutti Frutti one. Tutti Frutti is a big flavor over there across the pond, as we say. It is here too, but there's so many gum packages are just this flavor, that kind of generic flavor. Sort of like juicy fruit flavor, I would say, but this is another one of those really cute 2-inch, just the perfect size for your hand. That's what she said. But there you go. That's awesome. There's plenty more to look at. Next up is the ice cream cone. These are made all around the world. This is just one of the classic forms of novelty candy. I mean, what kid doesn't like ice cream? And so they've made all kinds of candy novelties, ice cream novelties. And here's another one from Korea. Now, this sculpt I've never seen before. This size I've never seen before. This is a regular push pop. So it's got at least another inch taller. But yeah, it has some sort of mechanism here where I guess you push a button. Oh, it spins. So yeah, you don't have to read. I'm bad about reading instructions, just being a guy, you know, but just by looking at it, I'd imagine you would push this button and it would spin. Something like that. Very cool. Great design. Reminds me of a candy shop aesthetic. Next up, appears to be two of these. Thank you for the double. And by the way, no collector needs a double. We don't need doubles, do we? It's just something in us that we just like having two of everything. I guess it's some sort of irrational fear of losing one. Or this is actually, on first glance, it's like, oh, it's just a candy wrapper. But the awesomeness is in these mascots. You got a guy on the keyboards back here. Super cool. Not sure the animal. Actually, this is an Apple character mascot playing the guitar. So these must be fruit. That must be the grape. And then the orange guy. Cool. Look at that. Great mascots. Damn. Next up, let's see what this is. This has my attention. I wonder if this is is it BTS or something? You know, that boy band over there? I'm not sure they're Koreans. I'm not sure if this is an anime of I think it's BTS. I can't remember the acronym of that boy band, but anyway, maybe it's just an anime character. Not sure why he's screaming like this. Maybe he's losing his mind over the flavor. Maybe these are sour or something. I can't read this shit, so obviously, again, if you don't know how to do this, all you do is you take a photo of whatever you can't read, and you can plug your photo, it's free, into Google Translator. There's other, like, AI translators out there, and they will literally, on your photo, will translate this for you. It's really cool. Anyway, let's see what this is. Here's I'm gonna have to put you down. This is a bag of different gums. They appear to be all the same brand. So let's take a look at the flavors of mascots. Here's cola, obviously. Cola is huge over there. The flavor of cola is something you see across the pond. Also, Tutti Frutti is a big flavor. Nice. I assume this is chewing gum or bubble gum. It's made by Latte. Never known how to say that name. They're, I believe, a Korean company. And like I was saying right when the video started, when you see vintage Korean candy or bubblegum, it's usually it's by this brand, or there's a few more. There's one called Hai Tai, by the way, who made a Kung Fu bubblegum I love back in the 90s. For example, like you see some of that, but as far as like the candy stuff, they just didn't save it that I know of. Which brings me back to my notion that I don't think their storage situation is the best in some of these countries like Korea. I just don't think they hang on to stuff. They just don't have the storage we do in America. Anyway, this is badass. Look at that. Cannot read a single word on this thing, but the mascot is just freaking wild. I love it. Very cool. Look at the font. It's really amazing. Great piece. These two things match. These are probably going to be whistle candies. Oh, they're in Korean translated. That's badass. Yeah, Kupla Cup chips. Yeah. they've been around for a long time. You see some of their stuff, but here's their Korean release. Now I'm noticing one thing here. Let's see. Yeah, this pulls out. Maybe this blows air through the whistle. This is a candy whistle. You might remember these. I remember, man, I used to love these back in the 80s. The flavor was amazing. That was the main thing. They were so delicious. This appears to be a chocolate one. Is this racist? Okay, very cool though. But yeah, I'm very interested in this mechanism. Obviously, it's for air. Like I can feel some resistance in here, so that's really neat. But obviously, no one can read this. So, right, next up, let's see. This would be in the tube category or the vial category. Long history with candy that comes in vials like this, tubes. I'm not talking about bubblegum tubes. I'm talking about the candy tubes. These go back a long way. They've been putting candy in canisters like this or containers like this. This one's pretty generic. And when I say that, I don't see any big mascots or big logos. But it does have a really high aesthetic value. It's pretty is what I'm saying. It's very pretty. A little gay, and that's okay. No, just joking. But anyway, these have like little candy tarts in them. They show you here, and you can see them going down the row here. Man, I really wish I could taste this. That's cool. Very cool. Okay, next up, we're getting to the end. There's just a few things here. Appears to be some bubble gum. Okay, yes. This is this Korean? All right, so this is pretty cool. This is candy paper. It translates to paper here. I've translated not this one, but one very similar to this. And they're basically novelty candy papers. And you can easily read it here, sweet sheets. Now, he sent me one, I think it was Germany. If you'll excuse me, I'll get it out here. I can get to it right here. I got to it right here. Yeah, I talked about this in the video back in the day, like last year. Or 2 years ago when he sent this. This is a German one that he found. I forget the town he went to. I'll have to check the messages. But this is one of the best things he found in Germany, in my opinion. It was monster candy paper. And he just found a Korean one. The novelty factor has clearly dropped a little bit. I've never been a big lover of mice mascots, but they're pretty cool. You know, I always like Tom and Jerry, I guess. I'm not sure why he's blue. The colors are a little annoying, but very cool. Thank you for picking that up, by the way. I do need to get to the bottom of this brand because I don't think that's Korean. This must be an import, which is, you know, pretty common, you know. Yeah. This is going to be tied back to a different country, but it's definitely translated in Korean. I'm just saying that, you know, this is kind of a cross-country something or other. That's very cool. Thank you, man. Damn. Next up, I'm seeing a push pop here, so I kind of want to save that for the end. Yeah, if you live in another country, I just want to please just remind you, if there's any way, if you're out and about and you see something that you think I would like or we would like, we probably pretty much like the same thing, you know, just wacky, you know, crazy shit, Garbage Pail Kid theme shit, you know. Will you please pick me up some stuff? Anyway, we got some more bubble gum here. Very cool. I can't help but notice it's very similar to this brand, who's dealing with a cola flavor. I think I prefer this one a little bit more. That's very cool. And we've got maybe well, I clearly see grapes, but I don't know whether green per se. I mean, I've seen green grapes, but and then we got this one. Yeah, he picked up the whole series. That's very cool. Now this one's unique. I don't see one like it over here, so maybe blue raspberry, I would imagine. And then this one appears to be, actually these are different brands. Sorry, kind of fumbling through. I can't read these, so it's kind of weird. Yeah, okay, these belong together. There you go. Very cool. I love that lemon chick. Very cute. Look at her, man. Okay, and then the last thing is one of these Push Pop ×2 from Korea. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, with Push Pops, I'm even into the plastics of them because I have so many of them. Yeah, I get all wrapped up in even the paint app on the top. I have some that have no paint app. I have like this gold series where they're all gold. And yeah, I just, well, Push Pops were around when I was a kid. The ice cream truck had them as well. And I would get them sometimes super cheap. I mean, I remember like 35 cents or something like that, like a quarter even, back in the day. So, of course, we always had these around. Man, that is very cool. So, just a little, I do have a trading card. I'll open that real quick. But I just want to do a little recap. So, just in is a care package for South Korea. He even put the flag on it. That's so cool. Thank you for that. I think I'm going to cut this out and put it in with this stuff as well. Anyway, super amazing. We have all these probably chewing gums. I can't read any of this. I would imagine they're, gum. But tons of novelty. Let's get these out of the way. So we have these packs. Fruit. Obviously fruit. Looks sort of like Skittles. Something like that. Maybe like Korean Skittles. We have another example of these novelty paper candy sheets. By the way, these are pretty vile. If you ever try to taste a satellite wafer, you might know what those are. It tastes like styrofoam, like sweet styrofoam. They're pretty gross. Okay, an ice cream novelty sucker. This has powder in it, and so you lick the vanilla. I assume that's vanilla. And you dip it in the powder here. We have novelty jelly beans that are in the flavor of different known drinks from Korea, which is really cool. Very regional, I would say. I don't see any boba tea, though, which is disappointing. But maybe that's what those are. I'm not really sure. Had this. It's a tube of tarts. A beautiful purple color. And then the rest are novelty. So we had a novelty canister with this anime character, or whatever that is. Whoever that is. We have these tiny bubble tapes, which are just, these will always be cool. They just will. Because this genre dates back to the 80s, back when we were kids, and they made them all throughout the 90s. So who doesn't have a soft spot for bubble tape, So that's always going to be cool. And then this is something right up my alley. It's a novelty tooth candy with some intriguing shaking candy in it. Classic candy whistles that date. These go back to the 80s as well, but these are the new ones. South Korean examples. And then two amazing Push Pops with Korean writing on them on the back. So thank you so much for bringing this or sending this here, sir. Thank you. I want to add it to the collection. So thank you so much. I did have a little trading card. I'll open that real quick. But yeah, so just getting anything from another country is always going to be exciting. And you know, I research this stuff too. I look for this stuff online. I look for Korean candy online, and a lot, almost all this I haven't even seen. So that just tells you, even if you look for it on the market, it's hard to find this stuff. So it really does take someone going to these places and tracking them down. Plus, you know, when you're searching for Korean candy, these sites aren't translated. You have to translate them yourself. It's just another barrier between you and getting stuff like this. It just makes it harder. Sorry, I saw a comment. Oh, hey Kevin, so mice eat your paper. Yeah, right. Yeah, and in the mascot, he's eating the paper, so it's like, that's not exactly motivation for me to eat the paper, because I know, like you said, mice eat everything or whatever. They'll eat paper. So, yeah. Just because he's doing it doesn't necessarily mean it motivates me. So, might as well have a goat on there. So, yeah. So I just had to share this at the end, not to take away from this at all, but I didn't know where to fit this in. So yeah, I got another mandolin. No comment. Holy fuck, what a day. What a day. What a fucking day. Oh my God. Okay. Yes, so I've already recapped it. Hope everyone's good. Any more questions before I get out of here? Love you guys. Again, if you go out of the country, will you please let me know? And hopefully you can find some stuff over there for your own collection, but maybe pick me up a few things as well. But yeah, man, amazing stuff. Okay, guys, see you guys in the next one. Russ Van out. Wow.